The American dream was built on a simple promise. If you work hard, you can own a piece of the earth. You can own a home. You can own your car. You can build equity that passes to your children. That promise is being broken. Today, the price of a median home is nearly impossible for a median earner to afford. Cars are becoming subscriptions, where you pay to unlock heated seats. Software is no longer bought, it is rented. Your movies, your music, your data, none of it belongs to you. It lives on a server owned by a corporation that can revoke your access with a single click. We are drifting away from a property economy and into a permission economy. You pay for the permission to exist. You pay for the permission to use, but you own nothing. We are told this is progress. We are told this is the sharing economy. But the financial historian knows better. We have seen this structure before. We are not moving toward a high-tech future. We are circling back to a dark past. We are witnessing the death of capitalism and the rebirth of feudalism. Welcome to the age of the techno-serf. To understand where we are going, we must understand where we came from. In the Middle Ages, there was no middle class. There were only two classes, the lords and the serfs. The lord owned the land. The serf worked the land. The serf was not a slave. He was free to live on the farm, but he had to give a portion of everything he produced to the lord in exchange for protection. He could never save enough to buy the farm. The system was designed to keep him in a state of permanent subsistence. Feudalism ended because of the Black Death. Labor became scarce. Peasants gained bargaining power. They demanded wages. Eventually, they demanded land. This gave birth to the middle class, a group of people who were neither kings nor peasants. They were owners. Ownership is the only thing that separates a citizen from a subject. If you own your home, you have a fortress. If you own your savings, you have independence. But for the last 50 years, the drawbridge has been raising. The lords have returned, but they don't live in stone castles anymore. They live in central banks. They live in private equity firms. And they have found a way to take your land without ever drawing a sword. How do you turn a free population back into serfs without them revolting? You don't take their property by force. You take it by price. You make the cost of ownership so high that the population voluntarily chooses to rent. And the weapon used to achieve this is asset inflation. Since 1971, when the dollar was severed from gold, the supply of money has exploded, but wages have remained flat. Where did all that new money go? It didn't go to you. It went into real estate. It went into stocks. It inflated the price of the assets that the wealthy already owned. Imagine a game of Monopoly, but every time you pass Go, the banker prints $1 million and gives it to the player who already owns Boardwalk. How long until you can no longer afford to pay the rent? How long until you sell your properties just to survive? This is why BlackRock and Vanguard are buying entire neighborhoods. They are not buying houses to live in them. They are buying them to turn them into rental units. They have access to nearly 0% interest loans. You have to pay 7%. You cannot compete. They are converting the housing stock of America into a permanent yield farming operation. You are not competing with other families for a home. You are competing with the Federal Reserve. But housing is just the foundation. The philosophy of rentership is spreading to everything. In a feudal system, the lord owned the tools. The peasant had to borrow the plow. Today, corporations are realizing that selling you a product is a bad business model. If they sell you a car, they only get paid once. But if they rent you the car or force you to subscribe to the software that runs the car, they get paid forever. This is the logic of the subscription economy. It creates a dependency. When you own a DVD, you possess the movie. No one can take it from you. When you stream a movie, you possess a license. It can be revoked. You are paying for the privilege of access. This bleeds your wealth slowly. 1,000 tiny cuts. $15 here, $30 there. You feel comfortable. You have access to everything. But at the end of the month, your bank account is empty and you own nothing to show for it.
Take the case of John Deere. A farmer spends $500,000 on a tractor. He thinks he owns it. But when the engine breaks, the software locks him out. He is told he cannot fix it with a wrench. He must wait for an authorized technician to plug in a laptop. He owns the metal, but he rents the brain. If he tries to bypass the lock, he is a criminal. This is the license economy. You buy a movie on a digital platform. The terms of service say you have bought a revocable license. If the platform loses the rights, the movie disappears from your library. You didn't buy a movie. You made a donation to a corporation in exchange for temporary viewing rights. Software, video games, even the heated seats in your BMW. Corporations are realizing that selling a product is a one-time transaction, but renting it is an infinite revenue stream. They are turning every object in your life into a service, and the moment you stop paying, the lights go out. While they strip your assets through rent-seeking, they strip your savings through debasement. We must return to the concept of money itself. In a feudal system, the lord clipped the coins. In our system, the central bank prints the currency. Inflation is the most efficient method of dispossession ever invented because it is invisible to the naked eye. The government tells you inflation is 3%, but look at the things you actually need to own to be free. How much has the price of land gone up? How much has the price of a gold ounce gone up? Asset inflation runs at 10%, 15%, sometimes 20% a year. If your wages go up 3% and the cost of buying a home goes up 10%, you are becoming poorer every single day. You are running on a treadmill that is programmed to go faster than you can run. This prevents the new generation from ever accumulating the capital needed to escape the trap. It creates a permanent underclass that owns nothing, owes everything, and lives paycheck to paycheck.
You are merely a conduit for capital to flow from your labor to their balance sheet. Who benefits? The Cantillon effect teaches us that money is not neutral. The closer you are to the printer, the richer you get. The modern lords are those with access to cheap debt, hedge funds, banks, the political elite. They borrow money for free, buy the assets, and then charge you rent to use them. They are the new landed gentry, and you are the tenant. The difference is, in the Middle Ages, the lord had to look you in the eye. He had to protect you from invaders. The neo-feudal lord is an algorithm. It has no obligation to you. It only has an obligation to the shareholder. Is there an escape? History shows that feudal systems eventually collapse. They collapse when the serfs realize that the protection they are paying for is a lie. But you cannot wait for the system to break. You must break free individually. The only way to opt out of neo-feudalism is to prioritize ownership over access. Reject the subscription, buy the physical media. Reject the lease, drive the older car that you own title in hand. Save in assets that cannot be debased. Gold, Bitcoin, productive land. You must build your own castle, no matter how small, because in the coming years, society will be divided into two groups, those who pay rent and those who collect it. Which side of the wall will you be on? I am the financial historian. The drawbridge is closing.
Subscribe and study the past. It's the only way to survive the future.